some app has already told you your lucky element. It told you in about a second and a half in a coloured box, probably with a gemstone recommendation underneath it. And there's maybe a 40% chance it's right, which is a strange number because it means it's also not random. It's doing something, it's just doing 1/4 of something and presenting it as the whole answer. The thing in that box has a name, Yong Shen, the useful god, and it is the single most important output of this entire system. Everything in the last 11 episodes, the Daymaster, the Counts, the 10 gods, the luck pillars, the clashes, all of it exists to answer one question. What does this chart need? Not what does it have, not what it's missing. What does it need? Those are 3 different questions, and today is the day they stop being the same question in your head. If this is your first one, I'm Jimmy. I put needles in people for a living. And about a decade in, I noticed the diagnostic logic I was using on bodies was the same logic this system uses on lives. Same engine, yin, yang, 5 elements. I never switched fields. I just pointed the same tool somewhere else. Let's go. Start with the correction because it's the one that costs people the most. Back in episode 4, I taught you to count your elements and find the empty column, and a lot of you went straight from I have no water to so I need water. That is not what a missing element means. Missing is a description, needed is a prescription. A chart with 0 water might be desperate for water, or might be perfectly fine without it, or might be a chart where adding water would be the worst thing that could happen to it. All 3 exist, all 3 are common. Here's the version that makes it obvious. Take a man who is yang wood, born in spring, with 3 more wood in the chart. Wood everywhere. He is not missing wood, he is drowning in it. What that chart needs is metal, something to cut, to shape, to impose a limit, or fire, something to burn all that raw material into output. Give him more wood, and you've given a man who already can't finish anything a 4th unfinished project. The useful god is not the empty column. It's the element that makes the whole machine run better when you add it. Sometimes that's the thing you have none of. Sometimes it's the thing you have one of. And the other side of the coin, Jishen, the element you should be steering away from, is very often the thing you have the most of. That pair, Shi and Ji, welcome and avoid, is what a real reading actually delivers. Everything else is texture. Now, this is the point where you're going to want your own chart in front of you, and everything after this only works if it's there. easternreading.com. Free, 30 seconds, no sign up, links in the description. Go pull it. I'll be here doing nothing. I mean it. This next part is a decision procedure, not a story. Without your own 8 characters, it's just noise with my voice on it. Got it? Good. Look at your Daymaster, 3rd pillar, top character, and then look at the character directly under your 2nd pillar, month branch. Those 2 are about to decide everything. Because before you can ask what a chart needs, you have to ask one question first, and it's the fork the whole art hangs on. Is your Daymaster strong or weak? Shenqiang or Shenruo? And I want to be careful with those words because they are not compliments and they are not insults. Strong doesn't mean successful, weak doesn't mean fragile. Some of the most effective people I've ever read were weak Daymasters, and some of the most stuck were strong ones. Strong just means this chart has a lot of self relative to its load. Weak means this chart has a lot of load relative to itself. Here's how you estimate it. 3 things in order of weight. 1, and this one is worth more than the other 2 combined, the month branch, Yueling, the season you were born into. If you're fire and you were born in summer, the entire room is on your side before we count anything else. If you're fire and you were born in winter, you started the game down. The month branch is roughly 40% of the answer by itself, and it's the thing beginners skip because it's only 1 character out of 8. It is not 1 character out of 8. It's the weather the other 7 are standing in. 2. Your team. Count everything in the chart that is the same element as you and everything that produces your element. In 10 Gods language, that's companion and resource. BaZi and Yin. Those are the characters pushing your side of the scale down. 3. Your load. Count everything you produce, everything you control, and everything that controls you. Output, wealth, authority, Shishang, Kai, Guansha. Every one of those spends you. Producing costs you. Controlling costs you. Being controlled definitely costs you. Team versus load, weighted by season. That's the read. And now the prescription, which is beautifully simple once you've made the call. If your day master is weak, you need support. Your useful god lives in resource and companion, the elements that feed you and the elements that stand beside you. What you want more of is help, teachers, backing, allies, learning, time. What you should be careful with is more load, more responsibility, more money to manage, more authority pressing down. Not because those things are bad, because you're already at capacity and the system's answer to a full plate is never a bigger plate. If your day master is strong, invert all of it. You don't need help. You have help. What you need is somewhere to put it. Your useful god lives in output, wealth and authority, the things that consume you productively, work that demands something, money that has to be managed, structure that pushes back. A strong day master with no outlet is the most restless chart in the system. Enormous capacity, nothing drawing on it, and it will find something to burn, usually itself. Weak chart, add support. Strong chart, add drain. That sentence is most of professional BaZi practice, and now you have it. Except, and here's where I part company with the app on your phone, that's only one of the 4 ways to pick a useful god. What I just described is Fuyi Yong Shen, support or suppress. It's the default, it's what almost every automated reading does, and it's correct most of the time. But there are 3 more, and when they apply, they overrule it. The second one is Diao Ho Yong Shen, climate, and this one is criminally underused. It says, some charts have a temperature problem before they have a balance problem. If you were born in the dead of winter, in the 11th month, with water everywhere and no fire anywhere, you are cold. And a cold chart needs warmth before it needs anything else, even if the arithmetic says your day master is technically strong enough. A frozen field with excellent soil still grows nothing. Same in the other direction. Born in the 6th month, fire stacked on fire, that chart needs water the way a person in a desert needs water, and no amount of, but your day master is weak, you need support, changes it. Climate first, then balance. The third is Tong Guan Yong Shen, the mediator. This is for charts where 2 elements are locked in a fight. Heavy metal against heavy wood, say, and neither one can win. Adding more to either side just makes the war louder. What that chart needs is the element that sits between them and converts the fight into a flow. Metal chops wood and they're deadlocked. Water. Metal produces water. Water produces wood. Suddenly the same 2 forces are a cycle instead of a collision. Nothing was removed. Something was added that let them stop fighting. And the fourth is Bing Ya Yong Shen, disease and remedy. Find the single worst thing in the chart, the one character causing most of the damage, and the useful god is whatever specifically neutralizes that one thing, not general balance, targeted. 4 methods. And this is the honest reason 2 competent readers hand you 2 different lucky elements. They're not using different data. They're weighting these 4 differently. Let me run it on the chart from last episode so you can watch this land. Yin Fire Day Master, the candle, 1 fire in the whole chart, himself. 3 water, 2 metal, 1 wood, 1 earth. Month branch, pig, high. That's early winter and it's a water month. So the single heaviest factor is against him before we count a thing. Team, 1 wood, the rabbit under his own feet. That's it. That's the whole team. 0 companion, 1 resource. Load, 3 authority, 2 wealth, 1 output. 6 characters spending him, 1 supporting him. Weak, not close. That is a very weak daymaster, and Fuyi says his useful god is wood and fire, the thing that feeds him and the thing that stands with him. Now run climate on the same chart. Born in winter, cold, wet, dark, one small flame. Dioho says this chart needs fire to warm it and wood to fuel the fire. Both methods, same answer, wood and fire. When two independent methods converge like that, you can hold the conclusion much more firmly than usual. And that's exactly why I picked his chart to read in the first place. Which means the thing I showed you last episode isn't just a good year. Look at what actually arrives. Yang fire on the luck pillar, running 10 years. Yang fire again on the year stem. His useful god, the element his entire chart has been asking for since 1982, shows up twice at the same time after 43 years of not one unit of it. That's the difference between reading a chart and reading a calendar. Everyone gets a Yang fire year in 2026. For most charts, it's weather. For this one, it's the prescription. 3 moves for your own. 1. Find your month branch and ask whether it's your element season. That single question gets you most of the way to strong or weak, and if you do nothing else today, do that. 2. Tally team against load, companion and resource on one side, output and wealth and authority on the other. You're not looking for precision, you're looking for which side is obviously heavier. 3. Then check the temperature. Deep winter or deep summer in the month branch overrides a lot. If you were born in the 11th or 12th month or the 5th or 6th, climate is probably driving your chart and the balance arithmetic is the second opinion, not the first. Now the part where I tell you what this can't do. 1. The strong weak call is genuinely hard near the middle, and a chart sitting close to 50-50 will get opposite readings from two people who both know exactly what they're doing. That's not one of them being a fraud, that's the actual state of the art. If your chart feels borderline to you, it probably is, and the correct move is to hold both prescriptions loosely and watch which one your life responds to. 2. Your useful god is not a colour and is not a stone. Wearing red does not add fire to your chart. What the useful god actually is a direction of attention. What kind of work suits you, what kind of people to be near, what kind of pressure to accept, and what kind to decline, which decade to move in and which one to sit still in. It's a compass heading. The industry turned it into merchandise because a compass heading is hard to sell and a bracelet is easy. 3. And this is the big one. Everything I said today assumes your daymaster is in the game. Sometimes it isn't. Sometimes a chart is so overwhelmingly one element that the daymaster can't be rescued and shouldn't be. And in those charts, the entire prescription inverts. You stop supporting the self and you go with the flood. Those are the congé, the following structures. And if you've ever looked at your app's advice and felt like it was telling you to do precisely the wrong thing with your life, this might be why. That's next episode. When the rules break and what replaces them. One click, easternreading.com, and you can run today's 3 moves on your own 8 characters before the credits finish. Month branch, team versus load, temperature. That's it. That's the procedure a reader runs, and there's nothing in it you don't now have. Comment section, and I want 2 things this time. Your daymaster element and your month branch animal, like yin fire pig, or yang earth horse, and then your guess, strong or weak, just your guess. I'm curious how often the instinct matches the arithmetic, because in my experience people are right about themselves considerably more often than they expect to be. Same engine next week. Thanks for sitting with the old stuff.